Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless, God bless. Thanks for tuning in. And those who are coming in for the first time, I thank you as well. Thank you so much for your support. Well, today I want to talk about the story of Job. And the story of Job teaches you that you can make plans and you could be doing the right thing. And sometimes trials, you're faced with trials and tribulations. You're faced with challenges in your life. Well, in the story of Job, Job is a righteous man. And this takes place in the story of in the Old Testament, in the story of in the land of Uz, U-Z. It's called capital U and capital Z. The land of Uz in the Old Testament, BC, before Christ. And Job was a man that was wealthy during that time, in that day and age. He had extensive flock. He had a huge family, 10 children, huge family, and he had a just land, excessive land. He owned land, and he was wealthy. But Job was a man that was serving the Lord and serving God. A man that was serving God, and he avoided evil. He avoided always walking in God's footsteps, and he avoided trying to be encountered with evil or be involved with evil doings. One day, Job was tested. Job was tested, and the devil approached God and said, well, let's see how good. Let's see how righteous. Let's see if he is a true follower of God. So Job was put through the test of life. And as Job was put through the trials of life, one day Job faced some horrible news. He received some bad news. Some tyrants, some enemies came in and destroyed his flock. Not only destroyed his livestock of animals and destroyed his land, but also killed his family, his kids, which is a very terrible news. Killed his kids. And Job was depressed and hurt. Job was so depressed and hurt that he ripped his clothes. All his clothes he ripped. Because in those days, when people expressed that they were angry, in the Bible days, in the Old Testament, they ripped and they tore their clothes. They ripped their clothes. That's an expression of anger and torment and despair. And as he ripped his clothes, Job also shaved his head. Not a sign of torment and disgrace and pain and hurt. He tore his clothes and he shaved his head. And as time went on, Job was remembering all the wealth that he had. Yeah, he remembering all the wealth that he had, and he wanted to know how it come to this. How did it come to this? And Job was afflicted again. But this time on his body. He had sores on his skin. Skin sores. That was painful skin sores. Painful skin sores that he received on his body. And he looked on his body. He wanted to know where it was coming from. As you can see the caption up there. His friends came to him. He had 3 friends. that came to him. Yeah, 3 friends that came to him. Elzaz, Bildad, and Zophar encountered Job. And they were talking to Job. And they seen how he was in despair. And he seen how he was in pain on the skin. All the sores he had on the skin. And he was so discouraged, he pushed them away and said, "You guys are just sorcerers. You guys are not even, get away from me. Get away from me." So eventually, although Job was going through that pain and sorrow and agony, all sores on his skin, he still, during his prayers, blessed God with his words and lips. But that's tough, ladies and gentlemen. That's tough. And Job had some kind of faith. That was tough to go through all that. Losing your family, losing your resources, your income, your wealth, and then still with the same lips, bless God. Which is very challenging. Which if you're put in that situation, you don't know what you'll do. The only thing you could do, I know what I would do, cry out to the Lord. Why, Lord? Why? But God has allowed things to happen, and he has his ways of doing things, and he has his ways of, when conflicts and despair comes into your life, he has ways of showing you. We don't understand his ways many times, but he has his ways of showing you his way. And maybe you put through the test today, and maybe you put through the ring around in the test, and maybe you could be feeling agony and pain in your body, and maybe you lost a job, and maybe you have sores on your, maybe you have some real pain and turmoil that you're facing and going through. But God has ways of delivering you. God has ways of making things 10 times better in your life. You may not understand it now when you're going through your agony and you're going through your pain and you're going through your time of despair. But God has ways. His ways are not like our ways. He has ways of showing you mercy, and he has ways of turning your life around for the better. Now, Job's wife told Job during his despair, "Why don't you curse God and die?" Easy to curse God, and when you're going through despair and going through turmoils and pain in your life, it's easy to just give up. It's easy to just say, "Well, I just throw in the towel and I give up everything. I don't want to face what I'm going through right now. I just want to give up." So you stay in a depression mode. You stay in your depression mode, and you may close the door and stay in a dark room. But I thank God today that he's a God of hope. God is a God of hope. And Job was faced with a lot of despair, a lot of pain in his life, and he had everything, and he was questioning God, why did this happen to him? Although his wife told him to curse God and die, God wind up blessing Job with 10 times more, twice as much blessings, with a brand new family and a brand new wife. And he gave him land, twice as much that he had before. So you may think that, well, God has given up on me during my despair. During when I'm facing aches and pains in my body, God has given up on me. Well, God is telling you that he's not over with you yet. And you may be facing termination on your job, or you may be facing lack of funds, or you may be facing trying to find a way out of your circumstances right now. Maybe you're going through some homelessness. Maybe you're getting evicted. But God has ways of turning things around. When you pray, although you're going through despair, although you're going through turmoils in your life, God is faithful. And God will turn that very thing into 10 times the blessings that you had before. But we got to pray. We got to ask God to show us. And then when you ask God to show you, the second action is to step out in faith. And say, God, I don't know where this is going. I don't know why am I facing this. But I know I leave everything into your hands. I leave it all into your hands. Although I just lost a mother. I lost a father through death. I lost a grandparent through death. And I was very close to them. But God, I just leave it in your hands. And I thank you. They don't have to go through no more suffering. I thank you that they're in your hands now. And I thank you for comforting my spirit during this time in despair. And let me tell you, it's tough losing a loved one. I know what it is to lose a loved one or to lose loved ones. I know the feeling of pain and agony, what you go through, what you face. I dealt with it, I faced it. And what I did to get over it, yes, I shed tears. Yes, I cried. Then God come, but I prayed and I said, God, I need you. And that moment, and that time, God has opened up doors for me, and He's blessed me with new gifts. And He's given me comfort, and He's given me peace during my time of despair. And when you have peace during the time of despair, no one can take that away. No one can take that away. No one can take that away. And as Job gets blessed from God's blessings, God took away the sores off his skin. God was able to revive Job. Now the live word of the day is coming out of Job chapter 2 verse 7. Satan left and caused painful sores to break out all over Job's body from head to toe. But guess what? When I read that scripture, Job is healed and delivered, and God has blessed him with 10 times fold than what he had before. Well, this is Zacchaeus coming to you with another live word of the day. God bless. And if you like what I shared, also smash the like button. Thank you and God bless. Be safe out there. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.